Welcome to the I Work For Him podcast. I'm Michael Miracle, producer of the I Work For Him radio program, the voice of the faith and work movement. Our mission is to transform the workplace of every Christian into a mission field. What does that look like in your workplace? Let's find out right now.
You've tuned into I Work For Him, the mouthpiece of the faith and work movement. We're so excited to be here today. We are your hosts, Jim and Martha Brangenberg.
Thanks for joining us. And like always, when we come Facebook Live, we know that there's a special audience of people that are going to be listening and watching and engaging with us. And the reason for this show is especially exciting is the fact that people that use this platform, that are used to going to things virtually, this is something we're going to be talking about that's really going to apply to those people. So stay tuned, listen to the whole show, get all the details, and you can see what you're up for.
A never-before event that's been virtual will now be virtual and in person. All right, as working Christ followers, we're constantly looking for ways to be great stewards of our money. Sometimes we need help in stewarding it well, however. Many of us have utilized the skills of Christ-following financial advisors in planning out our saving plan and planning out our spending plan for retirement. But who do they go to when they need help stewarding a client's portfolio well? Many Christian financial advisors in the United States rely on the National Christian Foundation and their skilled advisors who help Christ followers be great stewards of their money while maximizing giving and minimizing taxation. NCF Tampa Bay feeds into their financial advisors and their financial advisor clients, because that's who NCF services, on a yearly basis through the Plan to Give Conference, plantogiveconference.com. If you're an advisor out there, I highly recommend that you attend this conference on 11/4 at Armature Works in Tampa Bay, but tickets are wicked limited, but online, it's wide open for anybody around the country. Today we have here David Parsley, Jazmen Draper with NCF Tampa Bay, and Kristine Hartland, a longtime friend and cutting-edge Christ-following advisor to advisors in the Tampa Bay area. All of you, welcome to I Work For Him.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, we're gonna have some fun here today. I know we're financial advice. We're talking about money today. We're doing all these things. We really want to have a great conversation. We want to encourage people to get involved with the National Christian Foundation because it is life-changing for any Christ follower to be involved, and for any financial advisor, it's a must connect. Chris, as a former financial planner and advisor to planners today, how does NCF make family financial planning easier?
Oh, I love that you use the word family, because the one thing that we love more than we love money is family and Christ, right? We love our families. And when we do planning, we want to create values that transcend our generation, that our children and our grandchildren will leave a legacy of generosity and have a heart. So those of the advisors out there, whether they're financial advisors, tax advisors, or estate planning attorneys, we have a chance to incorporate philanthropy in our client counsel and bring this idea of family legacy giving to light.
And NCF just makes it easy. NCF is just so skilled at making it easy. And here's a side note. If you ever talk about the impact and influence people have on your lives, Chris and Bob Hartland taught Martha and I about having morning devotions every day. And what a powerful, as a couple, yeah. Which we had never done. And we want to just put a shout out right now. If you and your spouse, who both love Jesus, are not spending time together praying and doing a devotion together, it has been one of the most powerful tools in our lives that's now gone on for almost 6 years. Thank you, Chris. And make sure you tell Bob we say thank you as well.
So glad to hear that.
Chris, how has your faith allowed you to deepen your understanding of stewardship?
Yeah, so our faith changes everything, Jim. It changes everything. Christ calls us to take up our cross and follow him. And this is just not attractive to a world that seeks their own pleasure over the needs of other people. It's just disruptive. But as Christians, we know that everything belongs to God. And we know the amazing joy and unspeakable blessings that we find when we are obedient and when we serve his work and his will by giving and caring for one another.
So how is NCF helping people to be great stewards of the things that God's given them?
There are so many rules and laws and strategies and techniques we cannot be expected to know. We did not take a class on this stuff in school, Martha.
Yeah.
It's really hard to know without the experts. And NCF has the technical expertise together with the heart that beats in rhythm with ours as Christ followers to tell us how we can make gifts more meaningfully, more robustly, how we can move money that we're now sending to the IRS directly to the needs of people. Because even our government recognizes that charity is a more efficient way to help one another.
So true.
That's so good. So, Chris, for years, you have been a part of the Plan to Give conference there in Tampa Bay. And how have you seen the conference be a blessing to you? And speak to our listeners so that they see what it could maybe be a benefit to them to attend.
Okay, so you guys know this very personally. Let me just say that this is the only conference I attend all year that has the attorneys, the CPAs, and the financial advisors all focused together on charitable giving. It's the only conference I know of that brings us together for this particular purpose. And when we get on the same page, it makes our clients easier to say yes. They're less confused. We're all together singing off the same sheet of music.
Well, and what I like about it, as we've participated so much in the last several years, is that it's not just about charitable giving. It's really about kingdom-focused charitable giving. Now, I understand not everybody in the audience that comes to the Plan to Give conference will necessarily be a Jesus follower or not, but they're going to hear some fantastic stories and examples of how NCF has helped people to give in a great stewarded way. It's just fantastic. So, David, you work for NCF. You've worked for NCF now for a lot of years. Was it about your job that takes your faith to a whole new level?
Well, with any job, the first year you're just absorbing and trying to not master, but really understand the technical nature of the details and what we do and how we can do it. But the awesome part of these 4.5 years I've been a part of NCF is the families I get to serve. The testimonies of their faith and how they're just truly living out an understanding of stewardship, that A, God owns it all, and B, he's entrusted a portion to a given family, and how they use that and how they continue to use that to bless others and not just use it all for themselves is just so inspiring. It's really taught me how to approach what God's blessed me with and my family with an open hand, and trying to be more intentional about how to invest in others with the blessings he's given me.
That's so good. So, Jazmen, I would like you to spend a minute. We have people that have been leaning in a little bit. They're like, I want to know a little bit more about what you guys are talking about as this Plan to Give conference. Why don't you give some of the details right now so people can be looking that up and seeing if this is something that they want to get registered for?
Sure. So Plan to Give, it will be November 4th. It'll be from 7:30 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. and that's Eastern Standard Time. But due to COVID restrictions, unfortunately, our in-person capacity is full, but we do have live Zoom.
Sorry, you were celebrating that. So, but tell us the rest of it. So in-person is full, but
yes, our capacity is 80, so we've reached capacity, but we do have Zoom, so come and join us. You can register at plantogiveconference.com, and that's plan and TO, not the number 2. So plantogiveconference.com. The cost is only $49, and attendees can receive up to 3 hours of CE credit, and that's CLE and CFP credit.
All right, so plantogiveconference.com, plantogiveconference.com, or if you want to find out more about NCF Tampa Bay, go to ncftampabay.org. Hey, we're going to take a break and just thank some of our sponsors. I hate having my picture taken. It's such an inconvenience because I have to worry about my hair. And oh wait, I actually love having my picture taken because I have no hair and I can make funny faces all the time like this. Check Martha and I out on Facebook and Instagram. for all the latest on I Work for Him, and of course those occasional last-minute special event podcasts that we do, and funny pictures and conversations, just search for I Work for Him. That's I Work, the number 4, Him. All right, now back to the folks here talking about the National Christian Foundation Tampa Bay event that's coming up in Tampa Bay. David, NCF holds this Plan to Give conference once a year. What's the aim? For all those in attendance, what's the aim?
Let me talk about the aim, but first let me clarify the website.
Okay.
It's ncfgiving.com/Tampa Bay.
But if you type in ncftampabay.org, it actually gets to that exact same spot, just in case you're wanting to know.
Because he's maybe done and
maybe
whether we're supposed to
All
or
right.
not. Thanks,
We're
David.
talking about the Plan to Give conference this year, which is plantogiveconference.com. So, David, what's the aim?
Well, the aim is speaking to advisors primarily, CPAs, attorneys, and wealth advisors, to inspire them and to educate them on what's possible, what are the new trends, changes in charitable giving strategies, and just really equip them to become more aware of the resources that we can provide them so they can serve their clients in a more impactful way. And also, it's just, from a very basic business standpoint, it's a great networking opportunity because you have a room filled of like-minded professionals.
Right.
Just a great opportunity to expand who you work with and how you are able to serve your clients.
So without giving away all of the details about the speakers, who are some of the people that they would be hearing from, and what are they going to be referring to and teaching about?
That's a
David.
Great. Yes, the speakers are obviously the major content. By the way, the MC is pretty good this year too. His name is Jim. You may know him. And but Bob Dahl is a great presenter. He's one of the leading voices on Wall Street. He's with Nuveen Wealth Management. And he's going to be speaking on the economic outlook. Obviously, we've been through a roller coaster this year, and he'll shed some wisdom on what's ahead and how generosity plays a role in his life. Bill Sutton is a expert wealth advisor, and he now works for Excellence in Giving. And he's going to actually talk about a fascinating topic about how to help families navigate giving through the generations and some of the hurdles, some of the pitfalls, and how to really, some lessons learned from his experience in serving a wide range of families around the country. And then you have a couple of expert gift planning attorneys from the National Christian Foundation, David Wills and Jeannie McMains. So they're going to talk about some real strategic ways, particularly business owners, can leverage their business or real estate to give more wisely.
And I was going to say, Jeannie McMain, she stole the show last year. Boy, she was so...
Well, one of the things I wanted to say is the fact that, you mentioned that everybody can earn credits if they need to for their different learning opportunities that they need to register for their credits. But I know from being an attendee, this is not your typical, I'm going to sit and I'm going to be taught something and I'm going to have to drink a lot of coffee to stay awake. You guys do such a great job of bringing people to the table or to the microphone that are energetic and excited and smart, but they're talking in such a way that it really, like me, I'm not a practicer of any of these fields, but I always learn something. So I want people to hear that if you're looking for a new way to earn some of the educational credits that you need for your occupation, this is an excellent way to do it. And now it can be done online from the comfort of wherever you're going to be at that time of the morning on November the 4th.
Plantogiveconference.com, plantogiveconference.com. That's the T-O, not the number 2, plantogiveconference.com. All right, so Chris, can I ask you to put back on your video? I really want to ask you about NCF, because what Martha and I've learned about the National Christian Foundation across the country, there's lots of different offices, but NCF Tampa Bay does a phenomenal job of just really resourcing the advisors, the attorneys, the people that are having interaction, the estate planners, the people that are having interaction with folks who just want to make sure that they steward what God has given them well, and NCF helps facilitate that through donor advised funds and through creative gift giving. And, really, if you're a business owner, and let's just say you're thinking about selling in the next couple of years, do not talk to anybody about selling until you have sat down with somebody from the National Christian Foundation. Chris Hartland, I've seen the love that NCF shows their advisors, their clients. How does that translate down to the financial planner? Does NCF make a great partner for advisors?
They are amazing partners. They really help us connect to not only the technical expertise, but those heartstrings. Those what is the real purpose behind these resources, whether it's owning a business, owning real estate, stocks, whatever it is, they know how to make that really matter. So it honors the client, their family, and the Lord all together. They have a lot of expertise that they share because their whole purpose is to help unleash kingdom work in our community. And we are seeing it happen, and we have never needed it more, have we?
Amen.
That's for sure.
So Jazmen, give us some details again for those people that might have just tuned in or listening now about the Plan to Give conference. And I want to know, are you going to be delivering coffee to their home, their morning donut? What's going to happen there?
That would be wonderful. But no, Plan to Give is going to be November 4th, 7:30 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our in-person capacity is full, so you'll have to join us via Zoom. But you'll get to hear from 4 wonderful speakers. So go ahead and go register at plantogiveconference.com. The cost is only $49, and you can receive up to 3 hours of CE credits, and that's for the CLE and CFP.
And honestly, for those who watch the show often, know that the $49 is worth the entrance fee just to see me in a suit and tie. That's right.
It only happens a couple times a year.
That is exactly right. All right. But it's not about me. It's about the National Christian Foundation right there in Tampa Bay as they put on this annual Plan to Give conference, plantogiveconference.com, plantogiveconference.com. David, I just want to, this is something that, all year long you're working with advisors. You're working with attorneys and estate planners, and you're working with financial advisors. You're working with people that work alongside Christ followers who really want to make sure their giving is intentional, that it's well directed, that it's well organized. You have a really fun job, don't you?
It's unbelievable. Well, I love it. It's a great privilege to help people. The light goes on when you sit down with their advisors and these families, and they see how what a good chunk of money that would have gone to taxes, but because they planned well, now they have an extra fill in the blank, $50,000, $100,000, or whatever the proportion is given the size of their gift available for them to fund their church, their school, the ministries they love, or the charities they love. It is thrilling because these families have the opportunity to make an impact while they're alive or leave a legacy, and their kids and grandkids can participate while the older folks are alive, or
That's right.
If there's money left over in their giving fund, their kids and grandkids can continue that legacy of generosity. It's a thrilling opportunity.
So people that want to know more about NCF and really learn whether this is a good fit for them personally, David, how can they get a hold of you?
That's the National Christian Foundation.
I'm sorry, I said the acronym, National Christian Foundation. David, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, for directly to give us a call here in our Tampa Bay office, it's area code 813-567-1499. And we'll be happy to speak with anyone across the country. We have offices in over 30 cities, so we'll be able to make the connections, serve your other advisors and their clients extremely well from coast to coast.
That's excellent. Thank you so much.
And Hawaii and Alaska, we actually have a team member in Hawaii, so Jim may want to go visit.
There
I'm not much of a Hawaii guy.
You like the macadamia nuts.
I do like the chocolate covered macadamia nuts, so that's why I look the way I do. Hey, we got to take a break for a second and just thank one of our sponsors.
One of the ways I keep Jim under control is to tell him to go write something. It's sometimes the only quiet I get during the day. I would love it if you would go and subscribe to our weekly blog so I can keep getting those quiet moments every week. I could use more, but I will be grateful for at least that 1/2 hour. Jim's blog is written from his heart on what our Father is speaking loudly to him right now. I think you'll enjoy it. iworkforhim.com and click on the word blog to subscribe.
All right, we're talking today about the upcoming Plan to Give conference, plantogiveconference.com. It's online. All the in-person seats have been taken thanks to the COVID-19 plague. And so there's very limited seating at Armature Works, but you got to get your reservation in for next year's conference. Maybe you'll get a seat next year. But you can get a seat right here behind your screen.
That's right.
And I recommend that you go. Now, I'm not a registered financial planner. I'm not an attorney. Good for you. I'm not one of those people that helps with estate planning. But every year I go, and I've emceed the last 3 or 4. I always learn incredible things by the speakers. Are just so high quality. And when you come, if you're in need of CLE or CBD or what other kind of, I'm sorry,
not that.
Whatever kind of, Jazmen, help me out. What are the 2 different things they can get credits for?
CLE and CFP.
CFP. I knew it was another A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. All right. But you can get some continuing education credits. At the same time, you heard some fantastic speakers, and there's coffee. There's going to be a light breakfast as it starts in your own home.
That's right. Bring
because
your
all
own.
those in-person seats are taken, but you can serve yourself a gourmet breakfast, in fact, right before you get started.
But actually, I think this is kind of a benefit for those that have not yet registered and still want to, because with it being the day right after the election, they might be a little tired.
That's
so,
right.
This is an opportunity to just kind of start your day with NCF and the Plan to Give conference.
All right, Chris turned her video off right before I was going to ask her the last question of the day before we get to Jazmen and all the details. So, Chris, Hartland, why should every financial planner, advisor, attorney, estate planner use NCF as a resource?
Well, not only should they use NCF as a resource, but they really need to come. And if you're not an attorney, a financial advisor, or a CPA, you should get your attorney, your financial advisor, and your CPA to go, because you want to make sure that they are aware of how they can advise you to be a better steward, to be more tax savvy. My goodness, the tax laws have changed so much. And Jazmen, if I'm correct, I think there's one more initial. I think CPE for our CPAs is also included. But I love that you guys said that the price of admission is worth it, even if you don't need continuing education.
Yeah.
We all want to be more educated consumers, and we want to be really smart about our giving. So if that's the case, learning together is a foundation, and participating along with our community foundation. So many people have lost their charitable deduction since they raised standard deduction. How do I do that? A donor advised fund. What do I do when I'm selling my business so I can double the blessing, not only save tax on my sale, but also increase my giving? NCF. You can't be expected to know all these things without a partner who deals with it full time and understands what you're trying to do.
That's the National Christian Foundation online at ncfgiving.com/Tampa Bay. Well, we're talking about the Plan to Give conference. And like Chris just said so well, listen, if you're not a CPA, a financial advisor, an estate planner, an attorney, but you don't want to go, but you've got one, you're right. They should go. Because if you are dealing with an estate planner, a financial advisor, a CPA that doesn't know Jesus, doesn't have an eternal perspective, you need to find one that does. But in the meantime, maybe they're the one that you're working with right now will learn a little bit more about Jesus, be encouraged about things when they go to the Plan to Give conference, because they're going to hear me pray. So then we know we got that going for them. All right. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, David. Jazmen, one last time, tell us about the details. How do people get signed up right now for the Plan to Give conference?
I have a question before you tell that, though. If people are not in Florida, I want you to clarify if they can still get credits.
Correct. Yep. Just go to plantogiveconference.com, register, and then I'll send you the Zoom registration. So make sure you complete that. That way you'll get the Zoom link. It costs only $49. You'll get your CE credits up to 3. You'll get to hear 4 wonderful speakers, and it's, again, November 4th, 7:30 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. And we'd love to see you on Zoom.
And you're going to want to be there the whole time because Bob Dahl's the last speaker, and he brings enough to earn the $49. But Jeannie McMains is going to just blow your mind.
And so many more.
So many more. You got Bill Sutton. You got David Wills. It's going to be amazing. PlanToGiveConference.com. If you are a Jesus follower, make sure the people that are helping you plan are going to be there. If you're one of those planners, make sure you're going to be there. PlanToGiveConference.com, November the 4th, 7:30 in the morning, right there in your own living room. Thank you all for bringing Plan to Give Conference to us right here in I Work For Him. You've been listening to I Work For Him with your hosts, Jim and Martha Brangenberg. We're Christ followers. Our workplace, it's our mission field. But ultimately, I work for Him.
Thank you for listening to the I Work For Him podcast with your hosts, Jim and Martha Brangenberg. Please visit iworkforhim.com to learn more about connecting your faith and work, to join the I Work For Him Nation, or subscribe to our weekly blog. You can also follow us on social media at I Work For Him to stay up to date and meet our guests. If today's message spoke to you, please subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast platform. Your review will launch more workplace missionaries across America. That's at I Work For Him and online, iworkforhim.com. I work the number 4him.com.